Dear children, we have to praise the Lord for His unconditional love for us. And children, keep in your mind, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Yes, children, it is a promise given by the Lord to all of us. When we delight ourselves in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Don't have delight on any other things. Your delight, your happiness, your hope, your faith, everything should be on the Lord. Shall you? Yes, children. Welcome to our social class, children. So far we have learned history unit 5 for a long time. So this class we are going to take another topic, that is from civics, human rights and the UNO. Shall we enter today's class? Before that, children, did you do your 7th cyclic test well? So many of you didn't do that. Must do that when you have time. Okay, it is important. Your marks are all recorded. So do that, children. Welcome to the class. This class we are going to learn civics. In civics, already you have learned unit 1, which was taken by another teacher. This class we are going to learn unit 4. Unit 4, the lesson about human rights and UNO. Have you heard the word UNO, children? Yes, United Nations Organization. So, how United Nations Organization take efforts to protect the human rights? We are all humans. We have a lot of rights by birth, and also some of the rights are guaranteed by the government, which is equal to, common to all the humans. So what are human rights, why it is important, and what are the types of human rights, what are the steps taken by the UNO to protect the human rights. Everything we are going to learn in this class. Human rights. Everybody is born equal in this world, children. No differences for anyone based on the birth. So every individual in the world has the right to lead a dignified life of his or her own choice. Yes, nobody can deny our rights. Everybody has the right to live a dignified life. And human rights are related to individuals and also to the society. And human rights denotes the rights that are inherent, that is by birth we inherit that, and ensure that we live as free people and exercise our choices. That is, the human rights gives us freedom and to exercise, to choose our choices to live our life. And the state's role is to ensure the people have equal rights. All the people of the world, all the people of a nation must have the human right. Especially human right is common to all the people of the world. No discrimination based on any caste or any color, any religion or any category of people like that. No gender discrimination, everything. So human rights, it is equal to all the people because we are all born equal and everybody has the right to live a dignified life. What are human rights? Human rights are rights inherent to all human beings. Human rights are rights which are inherent to all the human beings. That is, wherever you born, which country you are born, whether you are a male or female, what religion you belong to, or what is your language, what is your religion, what race you are, that is what color you are, and what is your ethnicity, in which ethnic you born, nothing was taken into consideration. So human rights are the rights inherent to all. Inherent means everybody has owned it from our birth. So it's inherent to all regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language and religion. And human rights also includes lot of freedom for us. That is freedom from slavery. Nobody can treat anyone as a slave to them. And torture. And freedom of opinion and expression. What's your opinion about any problem or any society problem, individual problem, what's your opinion and your expression, you can say that. Everybody has the right to freedom as a human. And we have the right to life, we have the right to work, and we have the right to education. So what are human rights? These are the rights inherent to all regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language and religion. And it also includes freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to life, work and education. Where do human rights come from? From which place or what organization the human rights has the birth? So a set of basic rights and freedoms, it has deep roots in European and American countries. European and American countries played an important role in the formation of human rights. The first thing is the written precursors of human rights documents. In 1215 in England, a Magna Carta was passed for human rights, and in 1628 in England also a petition of the rights was passed, and the Habeas Corpus Act was passed in 1679 in England, and the English Bill of Rights in 1689 based on some civil rights, and the French Declaration on the Human Rights of Man and Citizen in 1789. So all these acts were passed in England to insist upon the human rights. And in USA, a constitution and a Bill of Rights was passed in the year 1791 to safeguard the rights of the citizens. The important efforts for human rights were taken after the birth of UNO children. So United Nations of Organization, which was born after the Second World War, because in the Second World War so many countries were affected. Many people lost their human lives, their property and everything. So many atrocities during the Second World War made it clear that previous efforts should be taken to avoid these violations, and the right of the men were prevented or eliminated in several parts of the world due to several factors. So the government of some of the countries alone could not protect the human rights. So people wanted to ensure that never again would anyone be unjustly defined life, freedom, food, shelter and nationality. So all these voices played a critical role, and in San Francisco there was a meeting held by many of the nations gathered together for the formation of the United Nations, and the act was passed in the year 1945. At this juncture, that is at San Francisco, an international body, that is many nations become the member of the UNO. UNO does not belong to any one particular country. It is common to so many nations, so it is an international body. It was born or established on 24th October 1945. So when and where was UNO born? UNO was established on 24th October 1945 at San Francisco. So and its important theme to frame policies and programs in all the areas, especially with the view to protect the peace and security for the people and development of the people, economic and social welfare of the people. All the things they insisted upon the development of only the humans. So UNO, which was established on 24th October 1945, after its formation only, lot of efforts were taken to protect the human rights. The third thing is the UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. UDHR, which means Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was declared by the United Nations. One of the greatest achievements of the UNO is the creation of human rights law. So a special law for protecting human rights were created by the UNO by declaring the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It was one of the greatest achievements of the United Nations. For what purpose? To advance this goal, especially for making a law to the world regarding the human rights. And it was led by Eleanor Roosevelt. She was the wife of US President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt, she led that law, and she decided to capture the world's attention, and finally UDHR was framed with her help. So in the year 1948 in UN General Assembly, with the leadership of Eleanor Roosevelt, a milestone document in the history of human nature was declared. That was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Milestone document means a new achievement made in the history of the human rights. When and where was UDHR declared? In the year 1948 at UN General Assembly. Who led it? Eleanor Roosevelt. Who was she? She was the wife of the US President of at that time, that is Franklin D. Roosevelt. So the law for the human rights UDHR that was proclaimed by the UN General Assembly in Paris, that is in France, on 10th December 1948. So every year 10th December 1948 is celebrated as the Human Rights Day. It's an important question. Keep it in mind. When do we celebrate the Human Rights Day? Every year 10th December we are celebrating the Human Rights Day as a remembrance of the UDHR. So the preamble of UDHR, that's our first page of the UDHR, it is declared that all men are found free and all are equal in the status of rights. They are endowed with intelligence and conscience and obliged to promote the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all people. So it stressed importance on the equality of people. So the UDHR is also known as the Modern International Magna Carta. That is, in more than 185 nations, they mentioned the principles of UDHR in their constitutions, including India. And it has been translated into more than 500 languages. It is the most translated document in the world. So UDHR, which was a law for human rights, passed by the UNO on 10th December 1948. That's why 10th December every year 10th December is celebrated as the Human Rights Day. And it is also known as the Modern International Magna Carta of Human Rights. Why it is called like that? Because more than 185 nations incorporated the principles of it in their constitutions, and it was translated into more than 500 languages, and it's the most translated document in the world. Children, do you wonder what it is? It is known as the Cyrus cylinder that was used in BCs, that is before Christ. In 539 BC, there was a great king named as the Cyrus, who was the first ancient king of Persia. So he freed the slaves and declared that all the people has the right to choose their own religion and establish racial equality. At that time, the racial discrimination was great. The white people, they treated the black people as their slaves. So the first great king of Persia, Cyrus, he took effort to free the slaves. And these are the degrees were recorded on a baked clay cylinder. It was a clay cylinder which was a baked one in the Akkadian language. The language written, the script used there was the Akkadian language in a cuneiform script. So it is translated into all 6 official languages of the United Nations. Some of the important laws mentioned by Cyrus in this cylinder are used by the UNO at present. So that's why it is an important one. The Cyrus cylinder, which was used in 539 BC, who made it? It was made by the laws which was scripted on that were made by the first king of Persia, Cyrus. And the language was Akkadian language, cuneiform script. And its provisions parallel for the first 4 articles of the UDHR also. So UDHR also used some of the provisions given in this Cyrus cylinder. Let us see what are human rights based on, or the values of human rights. Human rights is based on dignity, justice and equality. That is main thing. So dignity, the right to life, right to integrity, the prohibition of enforced labor, slavery and degrading punishment. And equality before law, no discrimination, that is no differences among the people based on their race, religion, gender, age, ability and disability. And justice for all, that is the right to fair trial, proportional punishment to crime, the right not to be trialed more than once for the same crime. So human rights are based on the values of dignity, justice and equality. Basic characteristics of human rights. So human right has some basic characteristics of its own. The first one is inherent. That is, they are not granted by any person or any authority. If you born as a human by birth, you can inherit the human rights. No authority or no other person should give it to you. Every human being can possess the human right by their birth. That's why the first characteristic is inherent. The second one is human rights are fundamental. That is, they are fundamental rights because without them, the life and dignity of man will be meaningless. Just imagine your life. You are not having any rights of a human. That is, you don't have a right to life, or you don't have a right to education. You don't have a right to speak. Like that, if anybody is treating you, means they are treating you as a slave. So your life will be meaningless and dignity of a man will be meaningless. So it is a fundamental right for the development of each and every man. So human rights are inherent and then human rights are fundamental. Human rights which are inherent, fundamental and inalienable. That is, inalienable means nobody can take it away from the individual. Already I told that when you born as a everyone, those who born as a human has the human right and they are fundamental for their life and dignity, and at the same time nobody is denied of that and nobody take away the rights from anyone. Nobody can say anyone as you cannot have enjoy the human rights like that. So human rights are inalienable. The fourth characteristic of human right is it is indivisible. That is, that cannot be denied even when other rights have already been enjoyed. Even though what are the other rights based on your personal capacity you are enjoying, based on that rights, even though you are rich or you are so color or your family comes under this heredity or whatever the religion, based on anything else, what are the other fundamental rights we are enjoying, nobody can deny this human rights. That's why it is called as the indivisible one. That is, they cannot be denied even when other rights have already been enjoyed by the human beings. And as I already mentioned to you children, the human rights are the universal one. That is, it is not to a human belong to a particular state or country or anything. It is common to the whole world. That is, they are universal, they apply irrespective of one's origin or status. They are enforceable without national border. It is common for all the human beings, those who are born as a human in the world. So, human rights are universal. So, the last characteristics of human rights is interdependent. That is, they are interdependent because the fulfillment or exercise of one human right cannot be had without the realization of the other. So, if you want to live free life, it should be depend upon the others, those who are living with you, those who are your close friends, family members, and the others, those who are moving in the society. With their help only, you can achieve your human rights. So, every human, those who are inherited to the human rights, must exercise the human right without realization of the other human rights. That is, what are the rights you want to enjoy? That right you have to provide to the others also. So, basic characteristics of human rights are 6. What are they? Inherent, that is, they are not granted by any personal authority. It is by birth and it's fundamental. That is the fundamental rights, because without them, life and dignity of the man will be meaningless. And inalienable, nobody can take it away from the individual. And indivisible, that is, they cannot be denied even when even though we are enjoying the other rights. And it is universal, that is common to all the people of the world. And it is interdependent because without the fulfillment or exercise of one human right, it should be without the realization of the other. So, how many characteristics of human rights are there? 6. What are they? Inherent, fundamental, inalienable, indivisible, universal, and interdependent. So, concluding this lesson, this class children, we have learned what are human rights first. So, everybody is born equal and each individual in the world has the right to lead a dignified life of his or her own. So, that's why human rights are very important for the individuals and also for the society. Then what are human rights? Human rights are rights inherent to all human beings regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language and religion. And human rights also include freedom from slavery, torture, freedom of opinion and expression, and right to life, work and education. Then next we saw where do human rights come from. The basic was from the European and American countries. First written precursors of human rights documents, especially in England in the year 1215, in 1628, 1679, 1689, before India got independence. So many rights were passed, so many acts were passed by the England government. And also in 1791 in US there was a constitution and a bill, that's a law was passed by them to protect the rights of citizens. But it was greatly taken action after the birth of the United Nations. So So United Nations, when it was born after the Second World War, especially after the loss of so many human lives, so many properties were lost, so many people were denied their rights, and there was a discriminations among the people based upon the race, and many people were treated as slave, and they were denied of the justified life, freedom, food, shelter, even they were not given the proper food. So many voices played a critical role in San Francisco to meet up the so many nations of the world. They gathered there and they declared the formation of the UNO. So when was UNO formed? On 24th October 1945. The first meeting was held at San Francisco, and so many nations joined under that, especially to protect the areas of peace and security all over the world. They promised each other that there should not be next world war. World should be in peace and security, then only there will be development. And another important thing for the human rights to come is UDHR, that is Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that was passed in 1948. That is in Paris, that is at France. There was a meeting held on 10th December 1948, which was led by Mrs. Roosevelt, that is Eleanor Roosevelt. She was the wife of former US President Franklin D. Roosevelt. On 10th December 1948, UDHR was proclaimed to the world, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was known as the Law for the Human Rights. So that day was observed as the Human Rights Day all over the world. That is, UNO Day was 24th October 1945. Human Rights Day is 10th October 1948. So every year 10th December is celebrated as the Human Rights Day. UNO Day 24th October and Human Rights Day is 10th December. So UDHR is also known as the International Magna Carta of Human Rights, because it was approved by 185 nations in their constitutions, and it was translated into more than 500 languages. And one of the preamble for that Universal Declaration was the Cyrus Cylinder, which was formed by the Cyrus, the great king of Persia. And he, at that time in BC, 513 BC itself, he had made a lot of laws to protect the slaves from their slavery. So there is freed the slaves and declared the people as the right to choose their own religion and establish their racial equality in Akkadian language in a cuneiform script. So from that Cyrus Cylinder, so many provisions were taken in the UDHR. Next we have seen values and basic characteristics of human rights. So human rights are based on the values of dignity, justice and equality. Okay, that is, the dignity means the right to life, right to integrity, the prohibition of enforced labor, slavery and degrading punishment. And justice means the right to fair trial and proportional punishment to crime, the right not to be trialed more than once for the same crime. And equality means equality before law, no discrimination. There is no differentiation among the people on the race, religion, gender, age, ability or disability, etc. Then 6 basic characteristics of human rights are there. What are they? Inherent, fundamental, inalienable, indivisible, universal and interdependent. So children, keep it in mind, Human Rights Day is celebrated annually on 10th December every year. It is to honor the UNO's General Assembly for declaring the human rights universally. So go through the class carefully, children, and try to answer the question which are given in the homework page. God bless you, children. Thank you, people. Have a great day.